us to be part of your family every day.
8 minutes after 7 o'clock is news time on this Thursday morning. Top of the morning from the newsroom of Regional Radio and DeWittDailyNews.com. I'm Seth Lawrence with this expanded local newscast brought to you by Baum Chevrolet Buick in Clinton, your Silverado headquarters, and the morning show streams to Facebook and YouTube. It's brought to you by Peterson Insurance, your Pekin Insurance agent in Clinton. The Prairie Flyers, a century of aviation in DeWitt County, and its organizers are hosting a drone competition this weekend. Drones are growing in popularity by the day, and a competitive drone competition takes place Sunday at the DeWitt County Museum. It will be an Illinois multi-rotor race at 1 p.m. Organizers hope those in attendance will take the opportunity to check out the professionally curated exhibit in the carriage barn of the museum. It features the stories of DeWitt County people with ties to aviation, along with a large collection of artifacts. Visitors will learn about Red Irwin, owner of Hooterville Airport, the county's oldest airfield, whose reputation as a stunt pilot and oil company executive, military pilots like Ernest Thorpe, crop duster and hot air balloonist Jack Holland, as well as Navy pilot Henry Kleeman. The special exhibit has attracted visitors from across the country in recognition for the level of professional design by Dennis Hambucken, a New Hampshire graphic artist, author, and historian who volunteered his time and talent to the exhibit. An exhibit catalog of Prairie Flyers stories and a large selection of aviation themes items is available. The final presentation of speakers related to the exhibit is also June 30th at 6 p.m. at the Warner Library, with local pilot John Warner's presentation on the Hooterville Airport. Warner will share stories of Red Irwin's history and a daring stunt pilot, also the fascinating history of the airport. Reservations can be made by calling the library at 217-935-5174. The Prairie Flyers exhibit remains open until July 3rd. Exhibit hours are 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. Tuesday through Saturday and 1 to 5 p.m. on Sunday. A Constellation Energy spokesperson says the company's nuclear power plants have not been bothered by the heat waves and are expected to provide enough energy and electricity reliably all summer. The company was spun off from Exelon and now owns the former Exelon nuclear power plants. Brett Nauman says ComEd buys most of Constellation's electricity in Illinois. That electricity does not have far to go, so the risk of transmission line troubles is minimized for those customers.
Yeah, you might have issues if transmission lines fail, but we have because we have the nuclear units here in Illinois. Like I said, 11 reactors at 6 different stations. Because we have that power, we tend to not have as many reliability issues. So, I mean, it's the fact that it's base load and producing electricity 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year, that we don't have those issues.
Some electric companies are warning they have to get electricity from out of state this year after coal-powered plants in Illinois closed. The transmission lines that bring it from other places may reach their peak loads before customers get peak demand. Registration for a popular ag event in Christian County is quickly approaching. The Dudley Smith Farm Field Day is coming up in July, but registration for the event is this Friday. Director for the University of Illinois Extension in Logan, Menard, and Sangamon counties, Terry Miller Casey, indicates you do not want to miss out on this opportunity.
Yeah, this is actually happening in a county just to the south of us in Christian County. And if you've never been to a Dudley Smith Farm Field Day, you're missing out. So definitely get on down there on Thursday, June 30th from 9:30 to 1 p.m. You're going to learn some of the latest research that affects farming and also a lot of grazing information if you've got livestock that graze. And hey, you're going to get a free lunch too. It's a no cost program. So go learn some fantastic things, meet some great people, and get a free lunch.
It's a full day of education and information for farmers and those in the ag world. Miller Casey says there will be topics of interest for everyone.
It's going to start off with a program called How Are Soil Health Benefits of Cover Crops Impacted by Grazing? So if you're doing cover crops and you have grazing, you may want to know, how is that going to affect my soil health? So that's a great topic to discuss. Another one is the farm of the future is here, and that's Dennis Bowman. He's an extension specialist in digital agriculture, and he's going to talk about those future, what used to seem so futuristic advancements. They're on the farm now, and they're happening. And he's going to kind of run down some of those latest advancements that are going to be making their ways to fields around central Illinois. And then it's going to be on to the next program of expanding regenerative grazing in Illinois. Great topic there. Regenerative grazing is obviously something that a lot of folks are seeing the benefits of and wanting to do and work more with. So you can learn more about it at the Dudley Smith Farm Field Day.
The field day is a wildly popular event. Miller Casey emphasizes you do not want to miss out on this opportunity that she calls a good networking opportunity as well.
The last and final program is going to be managing beef cattle in an organic crop rotation without perennial pastures. Now that's a mouthful too, but there's a lot to learn. And that's going to be a local farmer who's going to talk about how he's managed his beef cattle with his organic crop rotation and how he's made it work. So it's going to be right from the farmer's mouth on some techniques there. So again, that is on June 30th, which is a Thursday. And if you want to attend and you want to get that free lunch to go along with all that amazing information you're going to learn, you're going to have to sign up by Friday, June 24th. And you can find that information on our website. When I worked in that unit, which it's in Christian County, I often got to interact with all you good folks doing live broadcasts from Dudley Smith, and we always appreciated that. But a wonderful crowd. It's always pretty full, and it's also not just do you learn a lot of great information and get research in real time, so to speak. You get to meet and network with others who are in ag and have maybe similar things they're trying or similar interests or similar farming operations. And so it's a great networking opportunity as well.
You can get more information about the Dudley Smith Farm Field Day by visiting dsi.aces.illinois.edu. An Illinois Dairy Advocacy Group is celebrating in the month of June. Not only is June Dairy Month, but it's also the 90th year of the St. Louis District Dairy Council. Monica Nyman indicates the theme is how dairy has moved forward in its 9 decades and gives recognition to dairy farmers.
To recognize our dairy farmers, they give us such good support as being board members of the St. Louis Dairy Council, but they're such hard workers. It has been really hot this week, and just sort of a reminder, it doesn't matter what the weather looks like outside, whether it's 100 or negative 30, those dairy farmers still have to go out, do all of their farm chores. Take care of the cows, milk them, feed them, water them. It's a constant job. And so they're constantly producing that fresh milk for us. It's an opportunity for us really just to give an extra shout out to them for all their hard work. We love dairy products. The milk they're producing is turned into so many different types of foods. And it also just is a reminder for listeners to get in your 3 servings of dairy, which is recommended by the dietary guideline.
According to Nyman, nearly 100 years ago, the promotion of dairy consisted of posters for marketing and demonstrations with a milk cow. But now, with the advancements in technology, that promotion has been made easier.
Starting back in 1932, our biggest theme was called Put the Milk Pitcher Back on the Table. Okay, so that was the very first dairy promotion that the St. Louis District Dairy Council came up with. And I think that's really interesting because in today's world, our family dynamics have changed quite a bit, but we are still trying to get people to eat dinner together. There's so many benefits, especially to kids, by eating family meals together. And so, there aren't milk pitchers that people are using anymore, but you can certainly fill that glass of milk and put it on your dining room table and serve that up with your dinner. Other things that have changed, way back in the 1930s, they did a lot of signage on like public transportation. They brought a lot of milk cows out to do demonstrations of how actually, you get milk out of a cow. And especially in today's world, people sometimes don't even really know how that happens. So they did a lot of more hands-on types of things. And so in today's world, we are able to connect with consumers, schools, health professionals in that virtual platform. So, we have our traditional and our social media. We have our in-person visits, our in-person media, radio interviews. But we're also able to use technology to our advantage to share our messages and sort of spread the word about dairy.
The evolution of dairy has included the introduction of new products to the dairy case over the years. Nyman says this is largely driven by consumer demand, and there's also a component of dairy products that provide an abundance of nutrients.
So I'll start with just sort of why there are so many new innovative products coming to the dairy case. And really, it's what consumers are looking for. So working in the nutrition field, I just started my almost 19th year being a registered dietitian, and consumers really drive trends when it comes to new types of products. So in the nutrition world today, protein is a really big buzzword. We know that it keeps you fuller for longer. It has a lot of health benefits. It helps repair muscles after exercising. And so in the dairy case, we now have Greek yogurt, which isn't really a new product, but in the last few decades, it is a new product. And so basically how that's made is they take regular yogurt and they strain it. And so they just get a little bit more of that liquid off of there, and that concentrates it. So it's thicker. It has a really creamy, thick texture to it, but it also has a lot of concentrated protein. So it's going to give you about 2 times the amount of protein.
According to Nyman, ultra-filtered milk is becoming very popular. That offers a significant amount of protein. She points out dairy also offers healthy bacteria, which is good for gut health.
So then we also have these ultra-filtered milks. And so I think these are fascinating, and I would love to watch this process. But they basically take milk and they separate it into its particles, and then they put it back together in different percentages. So we have some ultra filtered milk that's on the market that has a significantly increased amount of protein compared to regular milk. So again, protein is that buzzword.
Right.
Another topic that consumers are looking for is healthy bacteria. So in the nutrition world, we know healthy bacteria is really good for gut health, intestinal, all that sort of thing. And so you have yogurt, which has healthy bacteria. You also have kefir. Both of those are fermented dairy products. And so people are looking for those because we know that healthy bacteria is good for us.
Nyman predicts the evolutions in the dairy case will continue to expand as people's dietary needs and health goals change. It is 20 minutes after 7 o'clock here on this Thursday morning. Back with more after this on the WHOW Morning Show.
Having a hard time finding the correct new car, truck, SUV, or crossover to fit your needs? This is Scott Baum from Bob Chevrolet Buick here in Clinton. Some lots look low on inventory, so go to our website, look at our pre-order and reserve tab. You'll see inventory in transit, which are built and on their way to Clinton, and in production, new Chevys and Buicks, which are being built and will arrive soon. Or you can always call our sales team. They can help you find the correct one just for you. BombChevyBuick.com, right from the start.
21 minutes after the hour here on this Thursday morning. The morning show streams to Facebook and YouTube. It's brought to you by Peterson Insurance, your Pekin Insurance agent in Clinton. And news brought to you by Baum Chevrolet Buick in Clinton, your Silverado headquarters. The price for natural gas has doubled since April. Nicor gas spokesperson Jennifer Goles says that's a cost Nicor passes on to customers without profiting. It may not be a big deal to most customers in the summer, but it will be if the price does not come down by the fall when people start turning on their furnaces.
Well, we can't change the market price of natural gas. Nicor Gas is working proactively to try and provide financial assistance to support our customers. That comes through things like the additional $1 million that was made available through the Salvation Army Shielded Caring Program.
The $1.11 per therm on most recent bills reflects uncertainty in the market due to the energy supply. Goles says it's affected by things like politics and conflicts around the world. The utility company has a service called the Community Connection Center to help people find financial aid paying their utility bills and cutting their energy use. There's financial aid to cover bills, and there are rebates for insulating and sealing a home. In a world often dominated by marketing and invasive fish that hasn't found many takers when it comes to eating, it is getting a rebrand. The Illinois Department of Natural Resources wants people to stop thinking about Asian carp and instead call them...
The new name for Asian carp is Copi. That's C-O-P-I. It's short for copious, which is exactly what this fish is. I love this name because it's fun and light, which is exactly how this fish tastes. It's also short and easy to say, and it combines well with names of dishes. Kopi burgers, Kopi sliders, Kopi fajitas, Kopi tacos. Much better than Asian carp tacos, right? And even Kopi po' boys.
That's Chef Brian Jupiter from Chicago. The effort will hopefully boost the fishing industry to take more of the fish out of local rivers and create more of a commercial market for them. The Illinois Department of Natural Resources says the more that people are willing to eat them will create jobs in the state and help restore natural fishing habitats in the Illinois River. As much as 70% of fish biomass are Asian carp, or now Kopi. A new state law creates a statewide drug take-back program. The goal is to keep unused medications out of the hands of kids, those who might abuse prescription drugs, and water supplies. The measure was sponsored by Senator Laura Fine of Glenview.
This bill provides an alternative. By establishing a statewide program to provide for the safe and secure collection of disposal of medications, Illinois would be a lead on product stewardship.
It will be the responsibility of pharmaceutical companies to get the program set up.
The Drug Take Back Act establishes a statewide convenience standard and authorizes collection sites as well as consumer education to ensure that people understand where they can drop off or mail back unused and unwanted drugs.
Some counties and drugstores already have a take-back program, but this will be the first system available across the state. The dangerous heat may be straining your air conditioner, but there are ways to ease the load. An Ameren, Illinois spokesman says you can do several little things to improve your home's efficiency, allowing your AC to be more effective. Marcelin Love says you can change the direction of your ceiling fan to a counterclockwise direction, blowing the air straight down, and take a look at how you are illuminating your home too.
Turn off all the lights when they're not in use. And the other thing you should consider is the more energy efficient LED bulbs. You would be amazed at how much heat those old incandescent bulbs really give off. So if you change to an LED, that's just another way to reduce the amount of heat that's entering your home.
She also suggests use adequate insulation in the attic, ceilings, walls, floors, and crawl spaces. Seal air leaks with caulk and use weather stripping around your exterior doors and windows, and close the shades or curtains during those hot days to keep the sun out during the heat of the day. A myriad of weather events came together in a June event in southwest Kansas, resulting in the deaths of over 2,000 head of cattle. Rod Bain has the details.
Over 2,000 head of cattle dead in southwest Kansas over the course of a 4-day long extreme heat event in mid-June. Yet, as USDA meteorologist Brad Rippey explains, it appears it was more than heat that contributed to this tragedy.
When changes come suddenly and unexpectedly, that can still result in mass casualty events for livestock.
In this instance, a perfect storm of weather conditions.
There was lack of overnight cooling along with very little wind, so calm conditions and unusually high humidity levels.
So in breaking down some of those weather factors and their contribution to this event, Rippey started with a look at one of the nation's oldest weather stations.
Dodge City, Kansas, in the southwestern part of the state, not too far where some of the mass casualty events for livestock occurred.
June in the region started out cool. that pattern extending to the 9th of the month.
In fact, Dodge City was in the mid-40s as recently as June 2nd.
However, by the 11th of June, Dodge City and the surrounding area was at the start of an extended heat wave.
We saw 4 consecutive days of triple-digit heat. Now, that is somewhat unusual for mid-June, but what really caught my eye were the overnight low temperatures, especially on June 13th, when we saw Dodge City reporting an overnight low temperature of 83 degrees. That is absolutely unheard of for this part of the country. In fact, going back almost 150 years, that is the highest overnight low temperature we have ever seen in Dodge City, Kansas.
Rippey says combine all those factors, plus consider some cattle were still carrying a portion of their winter coats, and what took place was something even cattle, usually among the most adaptable livestock regarding weather conditions, could not handle.
Unfortunately, when those changes occur like that, suddenly and unexpectedly, that appears to be what put the situation over the top.
And while Rippey and others believe this was a relatively geographic isolated incident, he adds this could also serve as a warning.
Given the fact that we have seen the establishment of a powerful ridge of high pressure across the majority of the United States, that is a bit of an alarm bell that those conditions could occur again
as the high pressure ridge moves around the country. I'm Rod Bain reporting for the U.S. Department of Agriculture in Washington, D.C.
28 minutes after 7 o'clock is the time on the WHOW Morning Show, brought to you by, Baum Chevrolet Buick in Clinton, your Silverado headquarters. The morning show streams to Facebook and YouTube. It's brought to you by Peterson Insurance, your Pekin Insurance agent in